Thanks for tuning in to Junior Quarterback Board Football Game. My name is Kerry Samuel. I'm the owner, CEO of Own My Own Products, and also the sole inventor of Junior Quarterback Board Football Game. I would like to first introduce the components of the game. First you have is the playing field. This is the playing field. The scoreboard, the official game clock, the official game coin. This is the home side. This is the visitor side. This is the home quarterback. This is the visitor quarterback. This is the gamer referee. These are the official ball markers. This is the spot of the ball here. This is where the player needs to get to the first down, the second ball marker. This is the official bonus deck cards, the front part, and the movement is on the back. This is the official game spinning wheel. You have the kickoff and punt wheel, the pass wheel, the run wheel, the extra point and field goal wheel. This is the black defensive dice. This dice is used by the defensive player. It consists of 6 movements. No play is found on the dice 3 times, minus 10-yard quarterback sack, fumble, minus 5-yard holding. This dice is used by the defensive player after the offensive player runs an offensive play by using either the run or the pass wheel. The yellow dice is called a bonus dice. This dice can be used by the offensive player if the player chooses to use the run or the pass wheel and it lands on a movement with a star. That offensive player has the selection of taking a movement on the spin wheel, which is run, 15-yard gain, or he can select and roll the bonus dice. The white dice is called the live bonus dice. This dice is used by both offensive player as well as the defensive player if any movement should display the word live. I will give you an example. The offensive player spins the run wheel and it lands on live fumble. That means the offensive player fumbled the ball and the defensive player recovered the fumble and gets to roll the live dice bonus for additional movement. Once it's decided who will represent the home team and who will represent the visitor team, the game begins with the toss of the official game coin. One side represents the home, the other side represents the visitor. The winner of the coin toss decides whether he or she will begin as the offensive player or defer and start as the defensive player. The clock is set at 8 minutes. There are 4 8-minute quarters in the game. The quarter should be set at first quarter. This is a quarter. Should be set at first quarter. The home and visitor score should be set at 0. Each team is given 3 timeouts, so set the timeouts at 3 apiece. Each team is given 3 timeouts and is allowed 3 timeouts for the first and second quarter, and then granted 3 more timeouts at the start of the third quarter until the game ends. The clock will run continuously unless a player calls a timeout. A timeout is basically a free spin for the team in the event the clock is about to expire. Example, a player is in scoring position and the clock is about to expire. That player can choose to call timeout. The clock is stopped and the player is granted a free spin on the run or pass wheel in an attempt to score. Or if the player should find himself in field goal range, the player, he or she, can choose to attempt a field goal by spinning the field goal spinning wheel. A field goal can only be attempted by an offensive player if that player is at least within the opponent's 35-yard line or closer. Once the offensive player is decided, that player spins the kickoff and punt wheel. This is the kickoff and punt wheel. He spins the wheel. In this case, the wheel lands on 20-yard line. Offensive player has to set the ball markers on the 20-yard line, and the second ball marker is set approximately 10 yards away, and the runner begins at the 20-yard line. The offensive player has a choice to spin the run or pass wheel in his or her quest to gain a first down or score. This is a pass wheel and the run wheel. First down, the offensive player selects to spin the run wheel, and the wheel lands on 15-yard gain. Before that offensive player can move his man, the defensive player rolls the defensive dice. It lands on -5-yard holding. That indicates that a holding penalty was called on the offensive player and he has to move back 5 yards along with the quarterback figure. So instead of 1st and 10, we're now facing 1st and 15. So when the defensive player spins the defensive dice, in the case the dice lands on no play, that indicates no play was made on the ball. The offensive player is granted the movement on the wheel, which is 15 yards. The quarterback moves 15 yards, 5, 10, 15. The ball markers are moved to the new spot of the ball. The second ball mark is moved approximately 10 yards away. The down is still first down, and it's 10 yards to go. That process continues. Now the quarterback is spotted at his 45-yard line, 1st and 10. The ball markers are indicated at the spot of the ball. The second ball marker is indicated approximately 10 yards away. This process continues. Offensive player can continue to spin either the run or pass wheel in his quest to gain first down or score. But after each spin, the defensive player rolls the black defense dice to indicate whether or not he's granted that spin. In this case, the offensive player has the ball on the 10-yard line. He still has the choice to spin the run or the pass wheel in his quest to score. He cannot obtain a first down at the 10-yard line. In this case, he spins and rolls. The wheel lands on 10-yard gain. That indicates that the offensive player made it to the goal line, but the ball did not cross the goal line. So in the case of a score, this player has to gain over 10 yards and cross the score. So the ball will be placed on the goal line. It will be 2nd and goal. After the offensive player crosses the goal line and score, 6 points is added to the score of the player. And he then kicks the extra point wheel by spinning that extra point wheel. the wheel land on good at 1 point. 1 point is then added to the score, making the game 7. The original offensive player has scored. The opponent takes over by spinning the kickoff punt wheel. The wheel is spun. In this case, the wheel lands on touchdown. That indicates that during the kickoff, the offensive player successfully ran the ball back for a score. That player then spins the extra point wheel. The wheel lands on good at 1 point. 1 point is added to the 6 point. In the case the wheel land on add 2 point, that means the player elected to go for a 2-point conversion instead of kicking a field goal. So 2 points is added to the score, and the score becomes 8 instead of 7. The wheel lands on no good. That indicates that the the extra point attempt was unsuccessful, and he has to settle for 6 points. And this process continued throughout the game. If an offensive player is facing a 4th and long situation, in this case, the ball is at the 35-yard line, but it's 4th down and 20. That offensive player can elect to continue to try to score, or he's within field goal range. He can select to kick a field goal by spinning the field goal wheel. Field goal lands on no good. That means that the next opponent takes over at the ball at that point. First and 10, going the opposite way. These are the bonus deck cards. There's approximately 165 cards with various movements. This is the back of the card. This is the movement. This card indicates a free ball pass. This card can be used at any time during the game. The player can elect to hold the card and turn the card in the event of any type of turnover. The card is turned in, placed back at the bottom of the deck. In the event an offensive player is in scoring position and the time clock is about to expire, that player can elect to call timeout. A timeout is basically a free spin. So instead of the clock moving, the player can select to pass or run or try to score. It lands on fumble. That indicates the player fumbles the ball and his opponent takes over at that point. First and 10, the opposite way. The clock starts again. And if the clock expires, the quarter is adjusted to the next quarter. In the event of a tie score at the end of the 4th quarter in regulation time, the Fisher coin is tossed once again, the home side, the visitor side. The winner toss can elect to go on as offense or defer and try to defend. The first player that scores of any type wins the game. Thank you for watching this video on how to play junior quarterback board football game. Please visit our website at www.ownproducts, Products. Thank you and God bless.